back, everybody, to Bridges Math Week 10, lesson number 2. So let's take a look at the outcomes we're going to work on today. We are going to solve subtraction story problems by using a variety of strategies in order to develop fluency. So we are going to solve subtraction story problems that you're going to have to read multiple times, using many different strategies in order to develop your fluency, which means that we want you guys to be able to subtract easier and quicker. So now let's think about it. I want you to look at the picture that just came up, and I want you to write a story problem for this picture. You can think about it, write it on a paper, and then I want you to type it into your dialog box for your teacher to see. While you're looking at this picture, here's some things I want you to think about as you're writing. You can use your knowledge of place value to help you write the total number of gifts on or under the table or in the closet. Think about this. Each parcel is worth 10 gifts. So this rectangular box with the number 10 gifts in it is worth 10 gifts. Each of the other gifts represent 1 gift. And finally, take a look at the example in this picture here. Inside of the closet in this picture, there are a total of 14 presents. Notice there is 1 present that is 10 gifts, and there are 4 presents that are 1 gift. So 10 plus the 4 ones is a total of 14. So now it's time to learn about it. Take a look at the picture down here and answer in your head these questions. What do you notice? And what do you wonder? So let's see what this picture is telling us. We are going to write a story problem for the picture below. So let's take a look at some things in this picture. We see a boy in a room, and we see that there's a door, and it has the number 14 on it. We also see the boy has a shirt that says number 5. So maybe he's turning 5 years old. We also see that there's balloons on the table that say party. So I'm thinking this probably could be his birthday. Then we see a square with words in it that say 16 around the picture table, 14 on the door, and question in all. So I'm thinking that the 16 around the table are talking about the presents. Because I look and I see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 presents on and under the table, and then there is a box that says handle with care 10 gifts. So if that box is 10 gifts and there's 6 individual gifts, that means that there are 16 around the table, pointing to the word and the picture in the white box. So we're going to go ahead and start looking at a story problem for this. So let's go to the next page and find out what the problem is. So here's our picture again, and here's the story problem, an example of a story problem. It was the day of the big spring party, and all the neighbors were coming over at 3 o'clock. There were presents for everyone. 16 on and under the table, and 14 in the closet. How many presents are there in all? So as you were listening to that story and read it to yourself, we know that there's a big party happening, and that there are 16 presents either on the table or under the table, and that number 14 on the door represents the presents inside of the closet. So we now know what our numbers are. The last question here that I'm going to underline says, how many presents are there in all? So when I look at the in all, we should be thinking to ourselves that this means I'm going to be adding because I want to find a total. So if there are some presents which are 16 on and under the table, and there are some presents which are 14 in the closet, I want to know if I put them all together, how many there will be in total. So let's take a look at 2 ways we can solve this. One way is that we can use our number pieces. So the problem here can be solved by using this equation 16 plus 14, because I know there are 16 under the table and there are 14 in the closet, and in all means I'm going to add. So using our number pieces, I would break 16 down into a group of 10, which is 110, and then 6 individual ones, which is 6 ones. And then I'm going to add it to my 14. My 14 is a group of 110 and a group of 4 ones. So if I go ahead and I squish those all together, I look at my equal sign here, I put my 2 10s together, and I have a group of 2 10s, which we know is 20. And then I look at my individual ones, and I see that I have 4 ones that are red and 6 ones that are yellow. In my mind, I know my basic addition facts, 4 plus 6 makes 10. And when I have 10 ones, I have to do something super special with my number pieces. I have to convert them or make them equal to 1 whole 10. So now I don't have 2 10s, but I have 2 10s plus another 1 10, which is going to give me 3 10s. And if I count by 3, I will end up getting 30 as my final answer. So that's how you use the equation with the number pieces. Let's look at another problem to show you how to use it using a number line. So again, here's our equation. We have 16 presents on or under the table, 14 presents in the closet. We're looking to see how many presents are in all, which means I'm going to use an addition symbol. So if I have an open number line, I'm going to go ahead and start with the number 16 right here. Now, I'm not going to go add 14 right away. I'm going to decompose, or I'm going to break down my 14 into things that are easier for me. And I know that if I break something into a 10, that's definitely easy, and then what's left over is a 4. Okay? So I'm going to start at my 16, and I'm going to try to add to where I can get to a comfortable number or a friendly number. In this case, if I add 4, which is right here, 16 and 4 gets me 17, 18, 19, and it brings me to 20. So I've added my 4. I'm done with that. So I'm now at 20. And if I add 10 to my 20, I know that's going to give me a total of 30. So over here, this shows you the equations that I used. 16 plus 4 gave me 20, and 20 plus 10 gave me 30. And the 4 and the 10 is where I got my number 14 from. So again, using the number line counting up, I got 30. You ready for another one? Okay, let's try it. So here's another picture that we're going to use to write a story problem. And here's our story problem. Jocelyn is getting ready for a party. She has a total of 34 presents for the party. Some of the presents are on or under the table. There are also some presents in the closet. How many presents are in the closet? So we know, to start with, we have a total of 34 presents for this party. Some of the presents are under the table or on the table. Well, if I go over here and I look at under or on the table, I can come up with a total. There are 10 gifts under the table in this box, plus 1, plus 2, plus 3 gifts. So 10 plus 3 gives me a total of 13 gifts. But I don't know how many are in my closet. However, I do know that there are 34 presents in all. So to find out how many there are in the closet, I can use 2 strategies. My first strategy is to come up with a subtraction equation. I know there are 34 total presents. I know that I have 13 on or under the table. So if I take those 13 away, I will come up with my total final answer. So we're going to go ahead and use our number pieces over here, and we're going to start with the number 34. As you see, I have 10, 20, 30, plus 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I know that I have 13 presents on or under the table, so I am going to take away those 13 presents to reveal the mystery of what is inside the door. So I'm going to take away my 10s first, which is 110. I'm going to cross out that 110. Now I'm going to look at my ones, and I have 3 ones there. And I'm going to cross out ones. 1, 2, 3. Now I have to look at what's left over to determine the mystery inside of the door. So I have 110 and 210 left over, which equals 20. And then I have 1 1 left over, which is 1. So 20 plus 1 equals 21. So the mystery number inside of the closet is 21. So if I started with 34 presents and I didn't know how many there were in the closet, but I knew that there were 13 on or under the table, I could use the equation 34, take away the 13 that I know are there to find my total, which ends up being 21. Let's check on one more strategy, which is counting up using our number line to solve this problem. So again, Jocelyn is getting ready for a party. She has a total of 34 presents for her party. Some of the presents are under or on the table. There are also some presents in the closet. How many presents are in the closet? So let's go again with what we know. We know we have a total of 34 presents for the party. So total means we're going to have our equal here. We also know that there are some presents on or under the table. And if I go over here, I can take a look that I have 10 in this box, and I have 1, 2, 3. So 10 plus 3 equals 13. Again, my mystery number is what is inside of the closet. So instead of subtracting, I can start with the number that I know, and I can count up until I get to the number that is my total. So down here on the number line, I start with number 13 because I know I have 13 gifts on or under the table. I also know at the end I'm going to have 34 total presents, so I put that at the end of my open number line. Now I have to see by counting up how I can get to 34. So the first part I'm going to count up is by 7 because I'm going to go from 13 and I am going to go to the nearest number with a 0 on the end, because counting by tens is a lot easier for me than counting by other numbers. So to get from 13 to 20, I had to add 7. So I'm going to add 7 here to start with. 13 plus 7 is 20. Now I'm at 20. Remember, I'm trying to get to 34. So now for 20, if I add 10, I know 10 plus 20 is going to give me 30. So I'm going to add 10. Remember, I'm still looking to get to 34. So from 30 to 34, I know I have to add 4, and now I'm at my total of 34. So what did I add to get there? I added a 10 plus a 7 plus a 4. So I'm going to start with my 10 here. I'm not going to do anything with it, but I'm going to look at my 7 and 4. If I add 7 plus 4, I know I'm going to get 11. Now, I add my 11 to my 10, and my answer becomes 21. So my missing number inside the closet is 21, and that's how you add up on the number line to solve this problem. I hope that these strategies have worked for you in solving these two problems, and on your try it and show what you know, I want you to try some of these strategies so that you can show your work to the best of your abilities. So now let's try it. Take a look at this piece of paper here with the 3 story problems on it. You are going to read the problems and use a strategy that you learned today to solve each problem from this page. Now remember, there are 2 ways to go about doing this. One is the print version for Try It. You can click on this in Schoology, download the Word document, print it, work on the problems, take a picture and send it to your teacher. Or you can click on this turquoise puzzle piece and it'll take you to the assignment version. Here, you'll see each of the 3 problems separately, and you'll have a chance to show your work directly in Schoology and then submit it for your teacher to look at and critique. It's time to show what you know. Here are 3 pages with 5 story problems in total on them. I want you to complete the 5 story problems from the presents and parcels assessment. This is page 1 with problems 1 and 2, page 3 with problems 3 and 4, and page 3 with problem 5. Remember, there are 2 ways that you can go about working on these problems. You could do the print version, where you click on the print version, download the Word document, print it off, show your work, take a picture, and send it to your teacher. Or you can do the formative assessment version, where you go and click on the Show What You Know in the turquoise puzzle piece, and for each question, you can go ahead and show your work and submit to your teacher so your teacher can see how well you've worked. And as always, good luck. Remember to ask your teacher for help. And keep working on your math. Math is all around. You just have to find it. Till next time, bye.